Let's connect to our Ujjayi breath. And let's do some alternate nostril breathing. We'll just do it together. Um, so we'll begin and frame it on our own terms. We'll begin. These next one, maybe 2 rounds. Simply play with feeling the front of your body, balancing with the back of your body. Now, however you subdivide that is up to you, but feel that the back of your body just perfectly situates, counterbalances the front of the body. The front of the body perfectly balances, counterbalances the back of the body. And as you're feeling that complementary relationship between the front and the back of the body, does that help the spine feel freer? And the next time that you exhale and you feel complete, we'll pause there. We'll set up for a seated spinal twist with the right leg crossing over the left. So the left leg is lying on the ground. And the sole of the right foot is planted to the ground. Inhaling, press with the right arm. The ground. Reach with the left arm into the sky. And then exhale, turning. You'll decide how to hook that elbow around that right leg. Now feel that there's breath able to reach, contact the back of the body as well as the front of the body. We gotta push our chest forward. Often we're kind of squeezing and restricting the backside of the body. So you'll get to feel and check with your breath. And often if we kind of withdraw or fall back, we end up collapsing through the front side of our body. So to me, this front side and back side exploration can contain a lot of kind of pattern material kind of pattern explorations as to how we kind of posture and face, and also just how that feels in our respiratory, digestive, and our spine. We'll release, we'll unwind, and we'll switch sides. And we certainly don't need to get technical about it, but some of the nervous system that's got sacral location, spine location, and some of our nervous system has a more respiratory, digestive location. And some of our nervous system is very much situated in that mid and low back. So when we turn to the left, our sole of left foot's on the ground. Just in a big general way, just feeling that breath can access the front side of the body and the back side of the body. It feels very supportive to the sacrum, to me, the spinal cord, the respiratory, digestive, the mid and the low back. Just that some of our nervous system is dedicated to how should I move blood? So there's a very strong correlation between our nerve and our blood flow. Our blood flow ready to serve a response, right? All right, let's unwind. When we sit with legs straightened out in front, in this wonderfully simple pose, I'm going to engage the legs using the palms directly beneath the shoulders. Press. So neither leaning forward nor leaning backward. Well, traditionally, this is done with a little chin kind of tuck or a bandha, but you can simply align the back of the skull over the back of the sacrum. Feeling breath in the back side and the front side. We'll fold forward. And release. We'll lie on back. We'll start off with an object. Just right away, slip that object between the inner legs and let the feet be on the ground. We're going to do this as a breathing move, and then we'll do it as maybe a stretch, a more fascial stretch move. So I'm leaving the feet on the ground, I'm leaving the head on the ground. Inhale into low back. Hold the breath, squeeze. Squeeze the object. And with the feet active, exhale. Just follow the belly all the way in. And then when you feel empty, draw the belly in more. So you'll get movement even if you don't get physical breath output. And then we'll relax the belly, inhale. Squeeze object. Exhale. Draw the belly in. Inhaling. Now as I'm inhaling, I'm going to widen my feet out to about the width of the mat. This places my knees a bit more on the inside, narrower than my feet. At the top of that inhale, pause, squeeze the object, and exhale. Now I'm starting to lead the thigh bones forward. Forward meaning away from my nose tip, just the direction of my face forward. Draw the low belly in and down. Now over the next couple of rounds, I'm just going to keep adjusting my feet so that my knees are actually tented in and my legs are tented in onto this block. I'm going to squeeze the object and exhale. Now as I give the thigh bones a direction, you notice that some of your butt weight starts to lighten up from the ground. I'll do one more. Again, I'm just putting my feet in just minutely different places. So as I'm squeezing, exhaling, reaching through the thigh bones, I'm getting just a wholly different way to feel my sacrum than it just being fully weighted on the ground. Then walking the feet back, putting that back soundly on the ground. I'll raise the feet, knees over hips, and we'll straighten or reach the legs up. So now we're in a more familiar place with this. Inhale into the low belly and the low back. We're going to continue same breathing pattern. Squeeze the thing. And now exhale, float the head and the shoulder blades up. Continue to reach your thigh bones away from the block, torso, away from your torso. Pull low belly in and down. And we'll do two more. I'm just going to leave the head up, remove the roll. I'm going to move directly into straddle. Inhale, straddle the legs apart. And exhale, outreach. Pull low belly in and down. We'll continue with this. Inhaling into the low back, low belly, perineum. Right, let's do like 3 or 4 or 5 more, just at our own pace. Just giving you time to feel and focus the way you need. And then rest the head down, help the legs together when you're through. And remain lying. We'll bend the knees again. The feet on the ground. We're reaching the arms overhead. We're going to do lying Uddiyana. So with the knees bent, if you want to tent them into each other, that's fine. I'm going to leave my feet just planted on the ground, almost like a bridge setup. Inhale into the low belly and the low back. And then exhale, it can be swift, moderately swift. Stay empty, drawing the belly in and back and up. Now stretch, actively stretch the arms over your head, which is on the ground. Release when you need a breath. We'll do a couple more. I'm not going to be too detailed about the explanations or but I'll just kind of mark time for us. So when you're ready with another round, inhale. And swift, exhale out the mouth. Stay empty, drawing belly in and back and up. And for our grand finale, I'll propose, only if you want to play with it, is working the Uddiyana and then slowly moving into bridge or partial bridge. So I'm going to place a block back in between my legs. You don't have to, but I'm just uh, doing it for other reasons. And I'm just going to do about a quarter, maybe a half of a bridge once I get the Uddiyana starting to draw in and move. So, inhaling. Exhale everything out. So I draw the belly in first, kind of lifting it, moving it, and then you can start to play with the bridge. Just kind of roll the spine down, release the belly. It's pretty fine for me. Let's turn over. I'm going to use a wall first and set up some chest opener at the wall. And then we can think about dolphin in a moment. So just that a basic or a usual setup we would do is out of a warrior one. If you have another creative way of going about that, please. I'll show you my setup. Just a warrior one, palm just out of my peripheral vision of shoulder height. Opening up the hand a little bit, reaching out, expanding through the finger joints. Release. We'll change sides. Just kind of holding that a little bit of sensation or stretch or position, holding it really steady, and then feeling the contour of breath kind of working in and under that. So I know it's possible to like endlessly wiggle and shoulder adjust and chest adjust, but can we get to a spot and then just letting the contour of the body be knowable by the breath? And release. All right. Well, I'd love to set up some dolphins, so we do elbows and knees for that. I should say forearms and knees. And we're setting the forearms out, just letting that middle finger line up with the forearms. There's a tendency to kind of splay or kick the fingers out to the side. And it's a little funky, a little bit, on the wrist, in that there's this kind of gliding joint that gets a little smushed down when we kick the hands out to the side. So align the middle finger with the forearm bones. Spread the hand and feel as much of the entirety of hand surface contacting ground as you can. Most of us are a little heavier on the outer hand than the inner hand, so just kind of focus, feel those inner few fingers. And when you're ready, exhale. We'll come on in. I'm going to do a little shift, taking the weight into the left arm. And then you can either leave the right arm on the ground, you can take the elbow away, you can use the fingertips like a little kickstand, or you can take the right hand behind the back. This depends how much support that left arm and shoulder like for you to have. Sometimes I'll use the hand just to kind of push and help and steer, so I'm really kind of letting my weight kind of move through the shoulder in a really, really nice way, a nice work way. So sometimes that right hand can help you almost steer your body weight so that your arm and shoulder receive it in a sound way. All right, we'll switch sides. The right forearm will go down. We'll shift the weight into the right forearm. You can decide how much of the left hand keeps contact with the ground or steers or just goes behind the back altogether. And we'll release, setting the arms down, the knees down. So we're going to do a drive-by of a couple of poses that we did in the last day or two. So we'll slide the hands under the shoulders. Exhaling into downward dog. Inhale the left foot forward. We'll start with the left foot forward first. We're going to set up for ostrich. But first, let's remain upright. So I bring the torso upright, interlace the hands behind the back. Inhaling through the chest and the collar. And exhale, glide the fingers, the knuckles rather, down. And again, just find out if you can get into a position that lets an area become momentarily magnified. And remain with it, and so that you can feel the contour of 1, 2, maybe 3 breaths within that framework. And sometimes we get into these poses, we'll get 2, 3, 4 breaths in, we're still kind of fussing with the neck and moving the shoulders around, and we've not yet even gotten to really feel how the breath interacts with the body yet. We're still kind of motoring. It's another part of the nervous system. We'll release the interlace. Easy twisting warrior. See? Inhale the right hand down to the ground. Exhale, raise the left arm to the sky. But not only raise, there's a lifting action that makes all shoulders light. And a reaching back. Another chest opener move. Now, I propose a little detail move. Your left foot and your right hand, stationary and planted, if they each kind of pull the earth apart, I'll say it again, your left foot and your right hand, just going to pull the earth apart between them. That might just be interesting for that reaching back. Hello. See if that gives you a little extra, like a fulcrum, and that front side and back side. I'm kind of playing with this a bit today. Can you breathe into the shoulder blade side of this pose? Can you breathe into the chest side of this pose? Inhale, bring the left hand down to the ground. I will set the right knee down. We're moving into twisting lunge and twisting lunge interlock. On exhale, we'll take this right arm, hook it over that left thigh. And if we're taken into that interlock, stage it with your breath, just kind of pausing, waiting for that exhalation, and that's where we'll move. Release. Inhale, we'll unwind, hands under shoulders. Place the left knee down. Do a little kind of a flank stretch embryo. I'm going to set my knees wide and shift my hips back. When I can put my left forearm on the ground, I simply pause and walk the right hand forward. And walk it way forward. Perhaps that elbow is afloat, putting a stretch through that entire right side. And if you don't really feel one, just arch the ribs to the right a tiny bit. So combination, both my right hand walking forward, my butt reaching back. If you prefer putting your head, your forehead, on your left hand, just sneak the hand in there. You can get a lot of really sweet tension for this stretch just by sinking the butt back toward the heels. You can breathe into that entire right side of trunk. And release. Inhale, bring the hands under the shoulders. Exhale, we'll step back, lowering for cobra. Set the hands forward. And let's focus that breath first into the solar plexus. As we lift and move the chest away from the pelvis. Exhale, lower, downward dog. So we get a warrior to start things off. Inhale the right foot forward. We're doing this ostrich more like an upright or a chest opening move. So we interlace the hands. We'll remain torso vertical as knuckles move down. Again, just find a spot. We'll probably bias the collar or the chest area, and then just kind of remain. It's not about stiffening or holding or restraining the body. It's more of kind of momentarily being able to switch and proverbially go into the cave. There's a stillness. It's reflecting and letting all this movement occur from a place of stillness. There's nothing restrained at all. But I'm listening to the chest, I'm listening to the breath, and I'm listening to the stretch, not from my motor nerves, my doing brain going, do this, pull that, make that better, adjust here, wiggle it, make it better, wiggle it some more, make it even better, perfect it, get it good, make it really good, make yourself proud. There's none of that. There's just stillness, breath. And there's lots of movement within just those. That view and that artifact. Easy twisting. Warrior, simply release the hands. Inhale the left hand to the ground. And so how do I know what part of my nerve or brain I'm using? How do I know if I'm doing? What if I'm a professional doer? I'm so good at doing. How would I know if I'm doing? So one of the ways I've been playing with and using is to keep feeling the back side of the body. Is to keep feeling the back of the brain as open. So when we're breathing, feeling the front side, the back side, just are you feeling the back side of your body? Right, inhale, we'll bring the right hand down. And we'll set the left knee down. So we'll prepare for a twisting lunge, maybe twisting lunge interlock. We exhale, drawing this left elbow over the right thigh. So once I'm reasonably situated, just find out, pause. And pausing is a quality of stillness. And then as you're breathing, there's a lot of movement. There's a lot of artifacts for sure. But I'm not contributing artifacts. I'm not contributing the artifact of, oh, I need to engage and put this muscle into this place and this bone. I'm not listing. Okay. And if you're moving into interlock, just pace it with your exhale. It takes a little bit, I think, to get really clear in that stillness, the breath and the movement and the artifacts happening freely is a different experience, a different way of being in our body than stifle, perform stillness, don't move, withdraw, freeze. Right, they're going to feel very different. So I'm not suggesting a freeze response. That's what we do when we're under-resourced. And then we'll release. When we inhale and unwind, we'll set the hands, the knees down. And here's this kind of flank stretch, embryo. I've got my knees a little wide, and I'm shifting my butt back. Once my right forearm touches the ground, that's perfect. That's all I need. Walk the left hand forward. You can rest the forehead on your right hand fist. Once there's a nice little stretch going through that left side flank, pause. There's nothing to perfect. The perfecter uses the brain to do, and I'm suggesting using the sensory part of our nerves to know. So sensory, felt, knowing. To me, so this is my experience, to go in through the sensory and the feeling way of knowing helps me feel my body waking up and remembering itself. Whereas sometimes my doing puts a little layer on it, a little shellac layer over my doing's not bad, and doing can be sensed for sure. And release. Inhale, the hands under the shoulders. Exhale, since the knees are down, I'm just going to lower belly to earth. Cobra. Inhale. Pull. So the mid back lengthens away from the low back. And then articulate through the upper back. So if we can refine a little bit how that arch comes in through the spine. Exhale, lower. Hands under chest. We'll press back, downward dog. Let's do a few more things. All right. So if you want to set the knees down so we can just have a transition moment here, I want to give us some options for getting into just the hip and the quad a little bit. So I'll show two options. I'm going to be working some form of Virasana. So one way to put the heel beside the hip is to do it with the wall. And then another way to do this kind of half Virasana is to do it on the ground. Same position-ish. Sometimes we get to the ground, we might need a couple more props. So it just kind of depends. So maybe one of these is more interesting or just works better for you. So let's try it out. I've got my left leg bent, my left leg's in the half Virasana. So again, we can do it as a lunge at the wall. Kind of puts the pressure on the more patella side of the thigh bone. Or we can do it lying. I think the word for that is supta. Supta. When I do the lying form, I like when my shin and my knee maintain contact with the ground. Just a little preference for most people's knees. So optional with the hands, you can reach the arms overhead, whether you're on the ground or on the wall. And we'll give it a few breaths, and I'll give us some moments to add in an optional round of Uddiyana. Might be interesting. So, try it out. Part of it is just getting situated, and not that we're restricting our body, more doing, but it's that we're switching our view, and can we find the absolute purity of stillness And then all of the movement of breath and the changing body and the fluids and the blood become the kind of the movement stars. Taking a couple more breaths, and if you want to add in a round of Uddiyana, we'll switch sides. If you're using the arms overhead, rather than placement, reach. Use the reach to get into that nice state of right on the edge of the body's revealment. And if you're desiring, a round of Uddiyana is a possibility. And then when we release, we'll set up Camel. So I thought it was a good day to revisit some back bend. So when you're setting up your Camel, I like to have padding under the knees and shins. Just make it nice. And one option is using the wall. I would use the wall. I'll show you in profile. And kind of to be able to send the hips adequately, fronts of hips forward. And then I would put the low ribs on the wall too. And what that helps you measure, not only all this vertical movement, but that alignment, the ribs right over the hips, helps you move into your camel without just hinging back or collapsing back on the low back. So I really like the wall. If you choose to do it freely or away from the wall, I'll just suggest foreground the ribs instead of the grab of the heels, because you can notice, like I'm just going to do it, if I reach for my heels in the easiest way possible, my ribs are way far behind my hips. It's like, yeah, I can touch my heels, but I'm also just kind of locking, like, there's something really nice about just letting the ribs telescope up and letting that articulation and the movement be be mostly happening in this upper back and chest. So this is a really, really important part of our nerve area. It's a very dense, it's kind of this mid back and low back. So I want you to be able to breathe and feel that there's breath while in camel getting into this part of your back. All right, enough of me. Let's do some camel. You set it up with a wall, you set it up with a block, set it up with some cushion, however you want. I'm not giving a whole lot of super structured details today, and that's okay. I'm going to do it with this. And we'll do a round of, 6 to 8 breaths. And then we'll take a rest. And then you can decide if you want to set it up any differently for the second round. We'll do 2 rounds of camel. Track with the low ribs first, the first several breaths. Hmm. That's about 1 round for me. Ready for a second round? And if you're like, well, we already did 2 rounds, well, that was fast. Let's do a second round. I think I'm going to do my second round with a wall. Because I ain't afraid of no prop. And just one little word about the wall setup. My knees are just maybe an inch or 2 away from the wall. And then I kind of nudge, my butt nudges my pelvis forward. Round 2. Complete? All right. I guess I was the last one. That's fine by me. Do a little lounge lunge. This is an unwind. I also like this is a nice way to feel the breath in the front side and the back side of the body. So as I kind of feel breath balanced, distributed, can I feel it with my back side, with my front side, in equal measure. And we'll switch sides. So again, can I feel the breath with my backside? And that's to say, not exclusively, but to say balanced. Is the breath received, felt through the front and the back side of the body? And release. All right, we're going to start our process towards Shavasana. So when we lie back, I'm going to do one abdominal while we're lying here. I'm going to be using the rotation of that leg, one leg at a time, and the reach, which may start to lift or move that one side sacrum at a time. So my leg movements will start kind of rocking half a sacrum at a time, or half a pelvis at a time. So inhale into the low belly and the low back. I'm going to lift the head up because it just creates a more abdominal pressure and just does another little, it's like a little massage of my low spine. It feels good to me. Exhale, raise the right heel, so that means flex the foot, roll it in. I'm just going to create a few little pulsings as the heel lifts, the whole leg lifts, and it starts to lift and carry the sacrum, the right side of the sacrum. And pull low belly down. And then inhaling, I'm letting the sacrum down, bending right knee. And then exhale, reach up through the left heel, rolling it inwardly. It's a thigh bone. Kind of lifting up, pulsing up through the heel so the thigh bone lifts, some of that pelvis sacrum. Pull low belly down. Inhale, let the sacrum down, bend the left knee. We'll do a couple more on each side. There's a really nice position that I really like after certain kind of back work. And there's a number of prop alternatives, but I'm just gonna down and dirty it. My spine is still on the ground, and I'm raising my legs vertical. And vertical just because I'm straightening my legs. If I couldn't straighten my legs, I'd put my knees over my hips and let the legs be bent. But the point here is I'm letting my legs balance over the pelvis. And it's an extremely light exertion. I'm just balancing the mass of my legs atop the pelvis sockets. I'm not trying to straighten the legs or effort or reach up through, just letting the mass rest over the pelvis. So my own mass is just helping me relax through the backside of the sacrum and the spine. This is a wonderful pose with the use of the wall. You can grow even more, say, passive or relaxed with it. It's really nice with blanket layers under the hips. This helps the lumbar, the low back, kind of remember its curve. So lots of approaches, but I'm just showing you this one today. And you can do it with bent knees where the feet are kind of hanging down by your bum. And while the legs are balancing over the pelvis, there's a nice little just practice here, which is feeling the weight of the left leg and the weight of the right leg just equally, similarly distributing down into the pelvis. And that distribution of weight becomes a nice way to start to practice that distribution of breath. And you feel the breath equally balanced in the left side pelvis, right side pelvis. If you haven't set your feet down, maybe now's a good time. Shavasana. Bend knees. Turn to a side. And press up. Namaste.